Yo. Welcome back to the Quickfix, y'all. We back in the building. If y'all just now tuning in, we just had the chief of police in the building.
Officer
Pasadena.
Sanchez.
Pasadena chief of police in the building. You know what I'm saying? We had to, had to get some little dialogue in,
And I hope y'all appreciate the fact that we sat there with the cops, you know what I'm saying? Because I was feeling very nervous and concerned.
Lottie be a little nervous because she got warrants.
I got warrants. I was
hey, but Leatherface, KD,
check it out.
How'd y'all feel about that too, though? You know what I'm saying? Being right there and just being able to talk to him and have a little dialogue.
Man,
was it a little something was it a start?
That's what needs to happen more. That's why I was like basically. That's why I was just like sitting back, basically like listening to like what they were saying, you know what I'm saying? Right. So I could see it up close and firsthand, like, exactly what they said. And he happens to be a real cool. You can tell that he's down to earth. And
that dude came to the church, man. Our church lasts a little long, you know what I'm saying? He sat through the whole thing. He didn't just get his little segment in, because sometimes they'll get up and stand up and, address the crowd to try to tell them, the community a couple little things. Trump came the other week to the thing, trying to say shit. But dude came up and was sincere and was like, no, I'm not just going to dip. I'm going to sit right here and watch this, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's a good thing, man. Shouts out. I hope it goes a long way.
So now...
Long way, bro.
Now we had, this is career day on the Quick Fix.
Yes, it is.
We had the police up in here. Now,
yes.
Now we have a doctor. Hey, the police go?
No, this is a real doctor, though.
Police go?
He's a real doctor.
We have a real doctor in the building.
Yeah.
A real doctor that brings treats.
Please introduce yourself.
But he brought Cobra.
Francis D'Ambrosio, orthopedic surgeon.
Yes,
Dr. 420.
A.K.A. Dr. 420.
Are you really an orthopedic surgeon?
I'm really an orthopedic surgeon. As a guest, it's difficult to follow the police. I didn't understand why the police did the full body cavity search on me. That didn't make any sense. No gloves. That's a little rough.
That's like the parking lots?
When did this happen?
It's my business.
Officer Sanchez?
Oh, man.
Y'all didn't film it?
No, so I brought some donuts and some 40s because my mother always said, I did this for the Daughters of Divine Charity a couple weeks ago. I went to the nunnery, and I asked what they wanted. They said donuts and 40s. So I just think
that's a party.
Yeah, it is a party. Those nuns can get down.
Yeah.
Are you really an orthopedic surgeon?
I am an orthopedic spine surgeon.
And you bringing me donuts and 40s?
Well, that's what my mother told me to do, so that's what I'm doing.
Now, Doc, you doc to a lot of people who don't want their names known, who happen to have the cannabis sativa type of
the whole deal
injuries. So talk about that.
Well, let me just say this, is that
he brought my card.
This is medicine. Cannabis is medicine.
That's what's in there?
That's not cannabis. That's donuts. This is a 40.
Hell yeah.
Cannabis is medicine.
Amen.
And when I see a patient, whether it's to give them surgery or whether them tell me about their hypertension or anything like that, our conversations are private.
Right.
So it's covered by what they call HIPAA, the Health Information Privacy Act.
Okay.
So I can't disclose any of my patients. As a matter of fact, it's difficult sometimes when I see my patients on the street because if I acknowledge that I know them, there's an implied relationship that could be construed as because I do this that they're now using cannabis.
Okay. Gotcha.
Crazy shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy as hell.
Yeah, but actually, to get back to your question, I did 2 years general surgery back at Bellevue in New York City.
Okay.
Bellevue.
I did 4 years of orthopedics at Beth Israel. Another year of spine surgery out here at Rancho Los Amigos. Did that for about 20 years, and then I realized that nobody got better.
Yeah.
Everybody, you operate on somebody's back, you think you're doing this great thing.
Right.
Nobody got better.
No.
Patients I see now, they are happy. Everybody loves it. They love me. This is the most satisfying thing that I've ever done in my life.
You're a drug dealer.
So Dr. 420, Dr. 420, tell me this. This is what you're saying. You used to just be a regular doctor who's just doing the things and it's just not working.
I don't know if orthopedic spine surgery makes you a regular doctor.
Not at all. That's a big deal.
I'm thinking superhero Marvel type.
That's a big deal.
Quite frankly.
Let me take you to that.
That's the Doctor Strange, maybe.
But you're chilling doing your thing, but you realizing like, you know what, I'm not just going to keep getting this money for not helping these people. I want to help these people and have a satisfaction on my face. You know what I'm saying? When I'm in my beach house, I want to smile.
Look,
satisfaction on my face, girl.
There's not. You don't make a lot of money.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Once a year, to get for somebody.
Yeah, you don't make.
It's $40.
Yeah, you don't make a lot of money.
It's so worth it when people are just happy and they thank you. It's so much better than the money.
I'm happy.
It's not even close.
So do you guys take insurance? Do you run your own practice?
I run my own practice.
So it's a cash only practice?
It's cash and it's credit. We have a physical office in Pasadena, which is
right on Colorado Boulevard.
Right on Colorado Boulevard. Painted this enormous building green. Had Atlas, one of the great graffiti artists in L.A., do an enormous mural on the sidewall. And now I also see patients online through a site called 420rex.com. So people from Chula Vista all the way up to Eureka, I see them all day long. They ding in. I'm able to see them through telemedicine, get them their recommendation letters. It's fantastic.
I need to do that.
Yeah. That is a beautiful thing. Now other than just the kid on the street corner smoking weed, talk to us about how it helps those people who just in pain and stuff like that. Because, you know, they kind of come down on marijuana like it's just something that the kids are smoking and driving fast. Man, talk to us,
It's not even close. That's not my practice. What I'm seeing is that now that you can see patients online through telemedicine, people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s who would never go to Venice, would never sit in a clinic where they think, oh my God, I don't want to be seen here. Yeah. They're in the privacy of their home. They're getting the medicine. These are real patients. These are patients with multiple sclerosis. These are patients with like intractable back pain, fibromyalgia, people with glaucoma, people with Lyme disease, people with asthma. I don't think anybody realizes that one of the things that cannabis does is it opens up your lungs.
Oh, wow.
So it's a bronchodilator. So people who have asthma, as long as they're not, using
Smoking
the actual
it.
carbon, if you're using it as the rub, as you're using it as a vapor. Vapor is the best way to introduce cannabis as medicine into the system.
Oh, why is that?
Well, because it is without question the best way. Several reasons. Number one, you can titrate it immediately, so you know when you've had enough. Right? When you take an edible, the typical story that happens after someone takes an edible is, it's not working, it's not working, it's not working, it's still not working, it's not working, take me to the emergency room. You know what I'm saying? It's always that story. So you give someone who's 70 years old, who's got back problems, diabetes, say, here, eat this edible. Oh, I just want to eat a brownie. Okay. Well, next thing you know, they're out of their minds. They have this terrible experience. They're scratching at the furry walls. You know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, they're out of their minds. But if you use a vapor, you don't have to worry about the burnt carbon fibers going into your lungs. You don't have to worry about the carcinogens. You can titrate it immediately. Any way you can get cannabis into your system, the key is getting into your bloodstream. So if you eat it, it's going to take 45 minutes to get absorbed, to get into your bloodstream. If you rub it on your skin, it's going to take an hour because it's got to go through the skin, get absorbed before it's going to work. With a vapor, you don't have the carcinogens. It works immediately. You can titrate it immediately. It goes straight to your lungs, right to your heart. Boom, it's working. And so you eliminate the possibilities of all the, even though there's never been a study that shows that by smoking cannabis that increases lung cancer or anything like that, intuitively as a doctor, inhaling burnt carbon probably isn't the greatest thing in the world.
Burnt carbon, you mean from like the
blunts?
Yeah.
Or a pipe?
Plus it's bad for your lips.
Is a pipe bad?
It's still the green
smoke.
bud. It's still burning carbon.
Yeah.
Whereas if you do the vapor, there's no carbon fibers.
But have they done a
So
study?
is that the oil? I'm sorry.
No,
Well, it's an oil that you vaporize. Exactly.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Like the vape pen.
Yes, the young lady over here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was wondering if there's been like a study or anything that show whether or not it's healthy to smoke through a metal device.
Well, I'll tell you this. Because cannabis is still a Schedule I drug, there are no studies that have been done in the United States except limited studies that are being done through the University of Mississippi. And those studies are specifically designed by the government in order to
Find something wrong
with it, not to find something right with it.
Yeah.
All the studies that are coming out right now are coming out of Israel. They're coming out of the Netherlands. They're coming out of Canada. We're going to get an enormous amount of information from these studies, and the prohibitionists are still going to use the same tack. Well, it wasn't done here. Well, it wasn't done here because you won't let us do it here. It's like this catch-22.
Not even in Colorado?
Right.
Can't do anything. It's still federally illegal.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and there's talk that even if a state, depending on who wins the next election, even if a state does have these rules in place to allow for legal cannabis, medical cannabis, the federal government could just come back and say, nope, we're done. We're not doing this anymore. We're going to supersede. Federal government is more important than the state government. We're just going to shut you down.
That's crazy as hell.
None of it makes any sense.
They can't do like black market research?
There's still not going to, but even if you did it, there's still not going to, the prohibitionists are going to still say, well, it's not a real study, so it doesn't mean anything to them. We're getting real studies out of Israel. We're getting real studies out of the Netherlands. Real studies that show things.
Netherlands.
Doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter.
Well, is this still something that they can't control and they or can't tax good like how they did? Back in the Al Capone days, it's prohibition. Now it's illegal. Now it's legal. I mean, is this something they can't just find up, or what the hell? How come I'm feeling like sometimes in California they say it's legal, then all of a sudden it's not legal? I mean, what the hell?
At the end of the day, everything's about money.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay?
Yeah,
Never
because
forget
I was just
that.
about to ask you, how come, why do you feel like it's the state says cool, but the federal government?
It's all about money.
Okay.
Okay. If let's say I have a patient who's got arthritis, diabetes, constant headaches, nausea, and let's just pick those 4.
Right.
I can grow something in my backyard that could treat all of those. Pharmaceutical companies right now have the medicine to treat all 4 of those
For
things.
$600 a pill.
And then have the medicine for the side effects.
Right, because you're going to get side effects.
You're going to get, of course you are. There are no side effects to cannabis. The only known side effect to cannabis at this particular point is a good night's sleep.
Hell yeah.
That's it.
How
I
do you
mean,
know,
there have been
I
studies.
be smoking.
There have been studies that saying that that they're finding morphological, shape changes in the frontal cortex or the prefrontal cortex of adolescents who've been using cannabis for long term when they get into their 20s, but they haven't been able to make any connection between the changes they're finding on these CAT scans and any real deficit in the patient. So just because something looks funny doesn't mean it's not working right.
Yeah.
I saw that documentary where that lady, the family had to pack up and move to Colorado because the kid had seizures.
Yeah.
And they
The oil.
Yeah, the oil, and they found
there was a woman up in Oregon who about a year and a half ago was running this thing called the Undergreen Railroad, where they were finding people jobs in Oregon in order to get these people from states that didn't even have medical marijuana to move to Oregon so they can get their kids treatment. I mean,
Marijuana really helps with that, with seizures and the nervous system.
Absolutely, it calms things down.
Yeah, my sister had a seizure, and the doctors wanted to put her on all this medication, and they told her that she couldn't drive unless she took the medication. Anyway, she didn't take it, but she ended up getting a medical marijuana card, and she's never had another one. But she
Look,
definitely
it
has
calms
issues.
things down. We have in our body these receptors. It's called the endocannabinoid system. Our body makes cannabinoids all day long. We don't make a lot of them. We make enough of them in order to keep things together. When we have these receptors, and what the cannabis plants has these cannabinoids. So if the nerves are going crazy,
right,
and you don't have enough cannabinoids internally to be able to calm the nerves down by taking the cannabinoids coming from the plants, now all of a sudden you can shut it down. And one of the things that just happened in Aurora, Colorado, at the Children's Hospital, for the first time in the history of the United States, a hospital administrator allowed a doctor to treat a 2-month-old child who was having intractable seizures, who he treated with cannabis oil while in the hospital.
Oh, that's rare, because they usually don't let you do that.
Never. This has never happened before. It's the first time. So this kid's 2 months old, is having 500 seizures a month.
Oh my
2
gosh,
months old.
poor baby.
They're giving the child phenobarb. They're giving him all these.
That's going to shake their brain crazy, right?
It was shutting the liver down. Their liver wasn't working anymore.
Yeah.
So the administrator finally allowed the doctor to use the little cannabis drops. They stopped.
Really?
Everything stopped.
Aww.
So that the thing you was talking about, the brain thing that was in the context, or what is it called, the cortex? Not cortex.
Prefrontal cortex.
The cortex, yeah.
Right.
So I'd like to see alcoholic cortex versus if it has one, alcoholic brain versus a brain.
Well, we know what the brain looks like in the alcoholic.
Smoking weed, I
I
believe that you're okay because I've done both. So I wake up with after I party off weed some drinks or something like that. I got a hangover to the fullest.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
The police,
but when you didn't know what time it is, they didn't party and had stuff too. But when I smoke, you know what I'm saying?
Look how Katie looking at him.
They coming back.
When I smoke, I've never had a hangover. Is what I'm trying to say. I've never been able to not function.
Me too. I have too from edibles.
I smoke too much.
Well, that's just
that's just anoxia. That's just not getting enough oxygen to your brain. That has nothing to do with that causing it. It's a medicine, so it's going to do what it has to do, and then it's going to disappear. It's not a poison. Alcohol at some level is a poison.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, because I done smoked and went to sleep and had a great night.
So let me ask you a question, because everyone is saying that marijuana is medicine, which I do believe. So does that mean that people that's not sick shouldn't be taking it? Will it hurt you if you perfectly normal?
Why you gotta ask that?
It'll make you even more normal.
I got an answer. I got an answer. If cannabis is medicine, if cannabis causes decreased inflammation, and if cannabis can help, heal brain injuries or anything like that, and you take it all the time, you may live longer. I mean, Willie Nelson's in his 80s. He's on the road 300 days a year. That guy is smoking. He's wake and bake. He's going from sun up to sundown. Is he healthy because he's using cannabis all the time? I don't know. I can make that argument.
Wow.
He's not unhealthy.
I think he is.
I mean, I don't know.
A lot of people
Shouts
are calmer, though, that smoke weed all day. They go through life calmer. They don't be so upset about everything.
Functioning.
You could be in traffic. Like,
There's no
it doesn't
question.
matter.
There's no
I've been in
question.
traffic without it, and I've been in traffic with it. In traffic with it, I'm honking my horn and doing all kind of maneuvers, getting over.
With
Shoot,
it?
after I smoke, man, I'm playing some cool ass.
You mean without it?
Switch or
He
something.
meant without it,
Yeah.
yeah. He got a napkin on his. It's okay.
You know what I mean?
It's okay. Right. He got a napkin on for it.
See, the reason being he's on cannabis now. So
Yeah, he's high. Right.
He's having a
Have you guys ever
problem
talked to
getting
He
Dr. 420?
has on a
Off
napkin.
weed?
No,
I mean,
but-
look. I mean, at the end of the day, it's and again, it kind of ties in a little bit to what is going on with law enforcement right now. I mean, right now it's very easy to arrest people who smoke cannabis because they're not
Coherent.
Well, it's not that. It's that they're kind
No,
of
we're
docile.
coherent.
I mean, they're
Kate.
docile. I mean,
What? That's a big word. Break that. Say a smaller
they're
word.
just-
Relaxed, hella relaxed.
Yeah, they're just sitting back. It's not like a crackhead who's going to like start shooting up the room.
Oh, gotcha.
You know,
Okay.
somebody's going to
It's
come into the
turned
house and
down
try to
too.
arrest you.
Yes, yes.
We're
Somebody's
turned
going to
down.
try to arrest you for pot. Where they're going to say,
She's so smart.
"Oh, okay,"
Yeah,
as
yeah.
opposed to sitting there trying to run at them. So I mean, they're easy
Hey.
targets for, for arrests. I mean, I don't want to.
Because we're so relaxed. We should have got
Yeah,
Officer
that's true though,
Sanchez a
because
little
you know,
cannabis.
I mean,
on his plate.
that's true though, because back in
Yeah, but you know
back
what?
in the
Most
day, back
they
in the
just
day, you could be thinking of going to do a crime. You smoke a blunt, man. Let's do this tomorrow.
Yeah, of course. That's the whole thing. You see, the crime went down
No,
15%.
I will tell you one thing too. I think
and they
that
balance the budget.
Oh,
I
ain't got
think
no
that
car.
weed also should be used for mental illnesses because
forgot to
I
do it.
think that marijuana. I think that honestly, I
got
think
the bullets,
marijuana
though.
does level out certain people.
Yeah, but it
that
gives
are,
them more voices.
You think it gives them more
Well,
voices?
the only contraindication for
I'm a
cannabis
little
is
bipolar, and
schizophrenic.
it calms
I do want
me
to ask about that
down.
Bipolar is
schizophrenia.
fine.
Or does it help any of that?
No, it's not. It's
It
not
does
really
not
good
help
for schizophrenia.
Oh, because it makes you like
More
Yeah,
voices. huh?
Yeah, that's not really.
But
that doesn't
bipolar?
really help.
It shouldn't
Bipolar's
echo.
fine.
I'm
Bipolar's fine.
bipolar.
But get back to the point earlier that you were just making is when it's exactly what Krayzie was saying. When they did the study recently about in Colorado about arrests and all this kind of stuff, since they legalized cannabis, violent crimes is down 18-19%.
Okay.
Because people are sitting there, so listen, I got a gun. You want to go rob a bank? No. Why don't we just go get some Cheetos?
Yeah.
We're gonna sit back.
Hot
we're gonna
Cheetos.
We'll watch Bar Rescue
Hot
and
Cheetos.
see what's going on.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Now, let me ask you this too, though, Doc. You know what I'm saying? Because, look, I've heard, and these are rumors, they've used acid for different military things or different stuff to have
Acid.
people with things and ecstasy and stuff like that. Do these people know that weed is something that can make people do better in society? Or is it something that they're like, we know that they can do better in this shit and we don't want them doing that? That's what I'm just trying. On the real, y'all laughing at me, but on the
It's all
real.
going back to the money, baby. It's all about the money.
Yeah, because they did those hallucinogenics with soldiers and all that kind of
Right.
thing to test on stuff. And I think that they found out
Man,
the weed
that's
is like
messed
some old.
up.
Yeah, they did that.
They
kind
got
of
them
thing.
overseas fighting,
Oh, yeah.
and they got them on
That's
drugs
in the 70s and
too.
60s. You talking about some Vietnam thing a long time
Yeah, but
ago.
they didn't know.
Well,
what-
it's still
I mean,
relevant.
it's horrible stuff. It's it's an extension of what they were doing in Tuskegee. I mean, they're doing the same thing. They experiment on people in order to see what's going on. How is that any different? What was going on in the concentration camps? You know, they're testing people, what their limits were. They're injecting them with viruses. I mean, it's just horrible.
But with this, I'm sure that they found out, because all my experiences, like I said, smoking weed is just like, hey, weed is some weed. I'm going to smoke that and I feel pretty cool. I've drunk some drinks and I woke up feeling real shitty the next day. My body done felt shitty. My
But alcohol is legal, though.
Do you think they do that?
That's the point that I'm trying to direct.
Do you think they do that with marijuana
like,
because it's more of a minority drug? So
Absolutely
that's
not.
why?
No.
I actually think more people smoke it than minorities.
I don't think it's more of a
Give us some stats, Doc.
I mean, you hear more black
You
people
crazy.
smoking
That's just
weed.
blunts.
That's because we flown it a lot.
It's some
We don't care about just rolling up in public.
In 1970,
so.
in 1970,
Talk
Nixon and Ehrlichman put together a plan. Ehrlichman came up and said, "Look, we can't control the African American population, and we cannot control the hippies because they're fighting us. Well, what can we do? Well, what we can do is we can make cannabis illegal, so we can arrest all the hippies, and we can introduce heroin into the African American community so we can control them."
That's what
That
they did,
was the
too.
plan. That was their plan. They published it.
Yeah.
That was their plan. So I'm not really sure that cannabis is
Ehrlichman?
Ehrlichman.
Attorney General?
Dog, that's
No,
messed up,
that was
We knew that already.
But I know, but I'm saying
I
to
can't
have it
remember who was
documented that the
Attorney
plan
General
was made for a dude.
Keith, take the napkin off your shirt.
Child, he eating chips.
that was their plan. I mean, where I think the real problem lies right now is the disproportionate amount of African American men who are arrested for cannabis, for nonviolent
Yes,
crimes.
and doing real serious time.
Serious time. I mean,
Like
if you want to make,
I got a
it's so
couple
weird
homies.
because whenever I
Shout
talk
outs
about
to my
cannabis, it
dog,
always
too.
seems like whatever the issue is, if you've got a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Right.
With me, if you wanted to make the first steps towards trying to get some more trust in the African American community with the police, how about you stop arresting kids from a 4-to-1 African American to Caucasian ratio in jail for nonviolent possession of cannabis?
Yep.
I mean, come on.
Wow.
I think they should stay at the police station until they're
agree
called
with
how it was back in the day. Like people laugh at me when I'm like, "Yeah, we need to go back to the Gomer Pyle days and so forth." But it was cool when they were chilling at the station, and then when they got a call, then you go out and you.
Now they're just
now
out
they
in the
just
street.
patrol, and it's like
Very
No, but you gotta understand
true.
that. I mean, but times is different now. You know.
What's the Golden Pile days? What year was that?
I don't know. It was on TV Land.
We ain't living in
Lord,
we ain't living in Mayberry. We ain't living in Mayberry.
We are living in
Mayberry
Mayberry,
kind
but the thing is,
The attitude, I understand the
it's the
attitude
vibe
of
that
it
they
could
give
But
off.
also, prisons are for profit. So, now you've got easy marks for a for-profit prison system.
Yeah, it's on the NASDAQ.
You know what I'm saying? So
That's
it just
sad.
seems like there's some things that we can do like immediately to try to build some more trust between the police
and
the African American community.
but even-
I mean,
and
I
the
don't just think
Latino
it's just the
community.
African American. I
It's
think it's
4-to-1.
It's even
It's
what we-
4-to-1.
I hate
Doc-
that though, that they sit here, and the cops were doing this too, and everyone does this, and I hate it because it's like, they're like, oh, the black community and the white community and the Mexican or the brown community, and it's like, using those terms which we all use is the reason why we all stand
Separation.
in division. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the reason why
I
we
wonder
all
how it would be if
constantly
they didn't
feel-
have any weapons. Like if they didn't
If
have
the
a
cops
gun,
didn't
if they
have
only
any
had
weapons?
if they only had a stick,
Like in
they're
England?
not-
They wouldn't be the cops.
like
girl.
in England. That's what I just brought up to the
No,
police.
they
I'm
got
like,
guns over there.
Now I
in
tell
London-
The
No,
only people
they
who have
don't
guns
carry
over there
guns.
are,
Dog, we've been places where they didn't have no
MI6
weapons
and-
before, but what they have is some strict policies where you gonna hang or either die
Yeah,
about
for real.
something. So
For real.
the word done got out that if dog, we done been to some places before. It's like that. I'm telling you, go mess with Kim Sung Jung over there in North Korea.
Oh, you guys heard
whatever
Kim
his name
Kardashian?
is.
No, but one time
Kim
we was-
Sung Jun.
Yep,
that's
that's
his
it.
name.
That's it.
Yeah, no. I mean,
Mess
one
with
time
him
we
over there. Spit on the ground over
Kim
there if you
Jong-il.
want to.
I mean,
Spit on the
one
ground.
time we was
spit on
in
the
one time
ground.
we was in Australia. One time we was in Australia, and like people would like some fans was questioning me. They was like, "Yo, so do people just really have guns over there?" I mean, like they was amazed. They was
It
like,
was amazing.
My African
"Wow, it
friends are
sounds
afraid to come here from Africa.
No, but they said it sounds exciting though. I'm like,
Yeah, that's why it's hard to watch these British murder mysteries because all of a sudden the cops run in and somebody's got like a knife to someone's throat, and nobody's got guns. So they say, well, they're going to talk their way out of this. They're going to well, so we don't have a gun. You have a knife to that woman's throat. Let's just talk it through.
No,
Can you imagine that anywhere else
that
in the
actually
United States?
works.
But it
Boom, pop on right.
Doesn't that work, girl?
End it right there.
And it actually works.
Well, you can't even get your car break down. You get killed.
What actually works?
Didn't somebody just
What?
get killed in North Carolina because his car broke down? The pastor, that was what the one they showed on the freeway, right?
Oh yeah.
I stopped watching because I can't
That's right. They showed him with the helicopter. His
It's
car
because
broke down.
His car broke down, girl.
Girl, stop lying.
Well, bottom line, what needs to happen to stop the violence is everybody just need to get some cannabis in their system.
Get some cannabis in their system
It's
and
funny.
stop
the police.
That sounds a good plan to me.
The police and the criminals.
Everybody.
If
You start
everybody
smoking
did
weed,
it, then
won't kill nobody.
criminals be too lazy to go do their crime, and the police.
I think it
Wouldn't
need to
have
be
no
more.
reason to
I
come
think
up
even
if
for
they
the
be
police
getting it.
stuff, it need to be more barbecues,
More
in the
Coachellas.
hoods,
We need
and
more
all that stuff,
Coachellas.
you know what I'm saying?
Don't
Yeah,
you think?
for real.
Coachella.
That
Yeah, a
sounds
lot of
good.
Coachellas, a lot
Yeah.
of barbecues, a lot of interactive
And I think they
things.
should
where
bring
you
the
see
cops.
each other.
Like I like how he was saying he brings the cops into the neighborhood. I
wish
think the
we
more
did.
that
Yeah.
they're in the
real.
neighborhood, the more they'll
On the
personalize with people. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, a lot of you on the reels though, because if I see a cop, and I see him all the time now, it's fun. So it's all
We got the
good, you know
doctor
what I'm
here
saying?
though.
It's
so.
like the guy
Yeah.
on Facebook.
Yeah, what you think, Doc?
About what?
About what?
I think maybe
I don't know. He was in
maybe
Australia.
the police should smoke weed.
Yeah,
We're trying to make the
Listen,
cops get smoke
if
weed.
cannabis is medicine, so if the policeman's got a sore shoulder, absolutely you should be using cannabis.
Yeah,
If you want to use it it's medicine.
And I
That's-
bet you he
that's
wouldn't
the
get so
bottom line.
turned up when he sees somebody that he's afraid of.
Listen, yeah, everybody's all jacked up. That's what he was saying. It's getting paid $76,000 a year.
Yeah.
That when he leaves the
That's a
house in
lot
the
of
morning,
money.
he
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
know if
real.
he's going to get shot. I mean, he doesn't know if he's
Well,
going
that's
home.
really about
I mean, they're all worked up.
$4,000
I mean,
a month.
imagine
Oh, that's
not
not
a
all
a lot
lot.
for
day
getting shot.
long
Yeah,
with
that's
that.
real. He should get 100.
Right.
And it just
that's about
seems like it's almost
$4,000.
like the bully in high school. You pick on the weakest character. I mean,
Yeah.
I get it. I mean, I get it. I understand.
After tax.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't become a cop.
Hell
I think
no.
it's too much work. I think it's too risky for my family. I could see how they get itchy.
Yeah.
I
can
get
say,
it.
yeah,
That's
they
true.
get, and you
Jack,
see it in these videos. You see
I
it in these
would-
videos.
everybody sees
when
it.
people are when a cop is getting ready to shoot someone or engage with someone, they are so nervous. They are so worked up.
They if they have, they want to
Their
have the body
adrenaline's
cams. They should have
pumping.
they should have heart monitor on them. If as soon as
Yeah,
it goes
they're
above
so
120,
nervous.
it should
Put
disconnect.
the safety.
That's,
Yep.
Damn,
You know what I'm
dog.
saying? All of a
That's
sudden the
true,
gun,
that's true.
That's some other shit
Like
right
that,
there.
too.
right? Hook it up to 120. If it goes above 120, the gun doesn't work.
Yo,
All right.
that we should. You know
No,
what?
no,
Let's
420.
patent it. Let's patent
It's
it.
420 in the house.
In the house.
Yeah.
He's
Let's
also a
patent it.
scientist.
The quick fix just solved the motherfucking
Hey, Doc,
problem.
tell them where to find you at, Doctor. You know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. Tell
All
them
right,
where
the-
one of your stores is.
The
and
office, the
everything.
main office is
And I'll
in
break
Pasadena.
open one of these 40s.
Go right
Can I
ahead.
break
Did
open
you
one
see
of these?
there? I got a
I don't
tissue
even
over
drink,
here. Wait
but
a minute. Did you
I'm
see?
sober, but
Did you see the Bart Simpson?
she done ate
donuts?
2 donuts. The life of
Who's
a
counting?
Who's
counting? Come on now.
Goes up together.
Oh my
All right, I'm
God.
in Pasadena at 3302 East Colorado. But you can see me online at 420rex.com.
420 Rex. How you,
RECS, as
Yeah,
short
you
for
know that.
recommendation.
420 RECS.
CS.com.
you about to see me, Doc?
Did you bring any
Instagram, I am
sample?
Doc420. Everything else is I am
We-
Doc.
Oh, you!
420.
I saw you today on my Instagram.
That was
That's
me.
you.
Did you see the picture of my buddy with the baby with the face on it? Yes.
Okay.
That was
Yeah.
me.
Well, I will
Okay.
be emailing you in the morning, Doc.
I'll be ready.
I need
They
it.
need their
Definitely.
Rex. Katie need her Rex
My
too.
back hurts really
Listen,
bad.
this is what
Oh
I do.
yeah, I can't
I have a
even
lot
walk.
of back
This
pain.
is
Me
what
too.
this is my job.
I can't
I was
even
trying to
walk.
get Katie to give me a muscle relaxer, but she's greedy.
It was great to have you and spit this knowledge
She
for
don't
us.
Yes,
So
sir.
guys,
Yeah.
it was a pleasure being here. Enjoy
Thank
the
you.
40s. Enjoy the donuts.
Oh
and,
yeah.
Yeah.
I already
What
have.
you got
Everybody
right there?
treat each other nice out there, okay?
What you got? Could you present some of those things? What you got right there? Could you talk about some of those green things? You know what I'm saying? This is
I
what
know
you
we
do,
went over.
You know what I'm
we
saying?
went
This
over
is what
your
you do.
Well, this is what I do. We went over
My
your
man never
medical
had one.
histories. We went over your medical histories earlier. I determined that based upon the information you filled out, that you were candidates for a medical recommendation letter.
But wait, hey, I didn't get application,
well, I didn't examine
doctor.
you on the phone. I was examining these two gentlemen.
These two, I'm telling you, they always looking out for themselves.
Always. That's why I'm eating these donuts.
He's gonna give it to him right now. He's gonna do it right now. He's gonna do this thing right now. Look how ladies do, man.
I got a chance to examine
to
these two gentlemen. They are absolutely candidates for cannabis. So this is yours, my friend.
Thank you very much.
See how they do that? You see, I got back pain.
Now he's gonna diagnose Lottie B
and
just log on tomorrow morning. I'll be happy to examine you and take a look at you online. We take care of everything.
Okay, let me get the email.
Yeah.
Keith, you was
Dr.
my phone died.
Dr.
Thank you for having me.
Man,
It was
get
a
it
pleasure
right
being
again.
here
Shit,
tonight.
we talking
Man,
right
thank you. Thank you for dropping by, man. We appreciate it, man.
Hey, you know what? Would it be a problem to get a little bit of diagnosis every now and then and have you do the Skype or something and come on in? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Listen, it's all
medical
about,
information?
listen, people have to see it's medicine. If you need me to help you with that, any forum that I can get to, I will.
That's awesome.
All right.
I pulled a tendon in
So
my
check it out, y'all.
arm.
We're gonna take a commercial break, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
I have my sleeve on
We're gonna
right
take a
now.
commercial break, and we will be right back. Y'all tuned in to the Quick Fix. I'm Krayzie Bone.
Bum Keith G.
Bloody B.
Cool ass Katie.
We'll be right back to y'all. Right after these
She said I
messages.
pulled a tendon in
Dr.
my
420,
arm.
baby.
Dr. 420.
In the building.
Okay, wait.